ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my shows into all the apps people listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to each one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you up with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading you this ad. My podcast host and I, we live all over the United States, and Anchor allows us to sound like we're in the same room. So while everyone is all quarantined in from this coronavirus, we can continue with business as usual and keep bringing you great shows. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. Remember, I can't wait to hear your podcast. Naturally Unbothered.
Hey everybody, it's Faye and welcome to another episode of Naturally Unbothered. I'm Shari.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Ebony.
And our guest tonight is none other than Goddess Erica.
Hello. Hi, Goddess.
Hey, welcome. We are so excited to pick your brain tonight.
And I am very excited to talk.
Awesome.
So I know everybody is wondering, Goddess Erica. Well, Goddess Erica is a lifestyle dom who has built a career on her passion for kink, tantra, and power exchange. By day, she is a sexuality-focused empowerment coach and an orgasmic birth doula. Both individuals and couples as they explore kink, gender, polyamory, and radical self-love at every stage of their sexual journey. By night, she uses kink and dominations as a means to express her spirituality and connect with her partners. So she is a dominatrix, y'all.
Ooh, that sounded delicious. Yes.
We are so excited for you to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you. I am excited to be here too.
Awesome.
So for our cast update question, I want to know, when is the last time you've been spanked?
Ooh, Lisa.
Ooh.
Or Erica, Goddess Erica first.
Yeah, she should I go first?
Yes,
you're okay. So I generally don't get spanked as the dominant in most of my relationships. I'm usually the one doing the spanking.
Yes.
But yesterday I did have a little morning quickie with my husband, and he did kind of slap my bottom a little bit. So I can just say yesterday.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, Lisa.
Long time. Too long. I can't even remember.
Oh, that's tragic.
I know, right?
There was no slapping on the ass this weekend, Lisa?
No.
Ugh. Okay. Throw the whole man away. Ebony.
I'm going to say I was in Target yesterday, and someone just decided to give me a good 1-2 tap on the bottom. That would be my husband.
Oh,
so, yeah.
That's nice.
It was nice.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've been spanked, but that's because I'm nowhere near anyone to spank my ass right now. So, we'll get there. So, Goddess, you said you were married?
I am.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to the questions part of this, because you're married and you're a dominatrix.
Yes.
That was like, woo.
Yes, I need to be able to incorporate that into my life. So.
Yeah, I don't talk about it on Instagram very much, but yes, I am married.
Yes. Because
Yes.
I went to a BDSM class because we decided that as a team, you know, we talk about a lot of sex, but we needed to start digging into and learning more about the actual different types of kinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to, was in Portland, Oregon, and I was like, I'm going to go to a BDSM class. And I just really thought it was just going to be handcuffs, whips, chains, and all that stuff. And it was not.
There's so much more to it.
There was way more to it. It was a whole learning experience. I had to learn about consent. I had to learn about all kinds of stuff. And I was not prepared. I was like, well, when is somebody going to get choked out?
People do get choked out. But lots of precautions around that.
Yeah, but it was the business part first. And so I didn't know there was a business part. And people that aren't a part of the lifestyle, they would never know that. They are going to be thinking the same naive way that I was thinking.
Yeah, there's layers to it. There's definitely layers to it.
Definitely layers. Well, Goddess, because you have such a lovely Girl 6 sex talk voice. The game that I picked for us to play is like so appropriate for your voice. So the name of this game is called Talk Dirty to Me.
All right. So the object of the game is you're going to pick a number between 1 to 15, and whatever person or item I describe, you have to seduce it and talk dirty to it. Okay. You ready? Yes. All right. Pick a number 1 through 15. I will choose 7. So you must talk dirty to a man or a woman who's covered in shit. You dirty boy. How did you get so much shit on you? How? And who's going to clean it up? You are. Because I don't lift a finger around here. So get your dirty ass into the shower and scrub up. Yes, Goddess? Thank you, Goddess.
Oh my gosh. What? I was about to go hop in the shower real quick. Are you kidding me?
You were in full control on that one.
Yes. I was like, but I'm not even dirty.
Go clean that shit up. You gonna clean it up. I love it. All right, Ebony, you're next.
You know my number's 13. Let's go.
All right, 13. I need you to talk dirty to your father-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
I love your father-in-law, by the way.
Yeah, because he talks dirty to you every time he sees you. So let's see. Hey, father-in-law. Do you want a drink of this nice Seagram's gin in the bottle? Like, I know it's your fave. Come have a sip. Like, yeah. That's as good as I can go with that. Can't. I've never felt more uncomfortable with having to do that game.
Can I interject with a quick anecdote?
Sure.
Yes.
Go ahead. Please do.
So I actually have a story for that. My father-in-law looks like an older photocopy of my husband. And there was this one time a few years ago where my husband was in the living room with me. My father-in-law was in the kitchen, and my husband had walked away to the kitchen. And I get up to follow him, and it looked like he was standing with his back facing me in the linen cabinet, getting a towel or something. And I just kind of strolled past him and gave his ass a good squeeze. And I walked into the kitchen, and I see my husband standing in the kitchen. I had groped my father-in-law.
Oh my God. What was his response?
It was pretty awkward. I think he liked it, but it was awkward. It was definitely awkward.
Does he tease you about it now?
He doesn't. He's a very kind man, so he doesn't.
Every
My
time you
father-in-law,
walk past me, I would
yes.
be like, "Hey, Erica, you want to squeeze my ass?"
I was about to say, my father-in-law would not let me live that down at all. That would be the talk at every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every Easter, every place. Oh my goodness, I'd be mortified.
I'm still pretty mortified though.
Yes, oh my goodness.
I would have been mortified too. I would have been like, "Oh shit, I just squeezed your dad's ass. I'm so sorry." I thought it was
Did you tell your
So
husband?
sorry.
Oh yeah, I told him. He thought it was great.
That's funny. All right, Lisa, pick a number. No 7, no 13.
Let's go with 8.
I need you to talk sexy and dirty to a vibrator.
Hey, sexy vibrator. Do you want to have fun with me tonight? Sure you do. I'm just going to take and rub the side of you and take this little button that you have, and I'm going to move it up. And then you're going to do something real special for me. You're going to start making some noise. You're going to start moving. And then I'm going to let you get a taste of my vagina. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm.
Lisa's been practicing.
Okay.
All right.
That was an easy one.
It was easy.
That should
It
have been
was
mine.
nice, though.
Because y'all know I suck at this game. Y'all pick a number for me. We'll let
2.
Erica pick it.
Yeah.
Pick a,
11.
Would you say 11?
11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Okay. So mine is the shower head.
I like the shower head.
Yeah. I just had experience with the shower head like
I know, but
2
y'all
weeks
know I
ago.
don't know how to talk sexy, so this is just gonna be interesting. At least it ain't the last time. The last time I got an old man with a pissy diaper, so
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I was listening to that podcast, that episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
it was pretty pathetic. I mean, I don't pride myself in talking dirty, so all right, let's go.
Well, go for it. You're trying to, yes.
Okay. So I've been waiting all day long just to feel your jets up against my skin. I just wanted to feel you pulsating up against my... I wanted to feel your jets just jetting in me. Ooh, Mr. Showerhead. That's all I got.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that was
Mr.
good.
Showerhead.
I thought that was pretty good.
It was
I'm
good.
gonna be honest. I thought that was pretty
It was
good.
way better than my other one.
You're becoming a pro at it.
Yeah,
You
you're
think
getting
so?
better.
I'm getting better.
Yes. Practice makes
But
perfect,
I started
honey.
sweating. Well, I got nervous.
Or excited.
See?
Either way, you're right. Could be right. Could be right. All right, so Goddess Erica, we have got to ask the question that is burning now that you told us that you are married. How is it possible for you to be this dominatrix and also have your spouse to support you?
Well, my husband and I have been together for 16 years. And we've been married for, this is going to be 12 in September. And we opened our relationship about 6 years ago, and we're polyamorous. So he has a girlfriend. I have 2 additional partners. And the dominatrix side of things, if we weren't polyamorous, the dominating side of things doesn't have to take a sexual turn. I just have the liberty of being able to kind of sprinkle that into my play if I want to,
Mm-hmm.
because of our open marriage arrangement.
That's awesome.
So can you do us a favor and just explain
Sure.
to our followers what a polyamorous is?
Yes. So polyamorous, the term means many loves. And polyamory is essentially when you are a person who believes that that your capacity to give love to sexual partners is unlimited. So, and honestly, it doesn't have to be sexual partners. Some people partner as asexuals. Some people, partner for companionate reasons. But essentially, what it means is that you are free to make connections with as many people or as few people as you like. So my husband and I are in a married arrangement, so we're kind of like anchor partners.
Right.
And we have secondary partners, but we don't like to treat it as like a tiered kind of system. Everyone's kind of on the same level. So my other partner isn't my second. He's just part of the whole. We call it a polycule.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you're all in one relationship, basically, with each other.
Essentially,
emotionally.
But metamors. So people's my partner's partner doesn't necessarily have to have a direct relationship with me. It's always best if it's a relationship that is at least amicable.
Okay.
when you're together. Yeah. But you don't have to, like, I don't sleep with my husband's girlfriend. We don't date. But she comes around. We go out on group outings together and things like that, and it's perfectly normal, or it feels perfectly normal.
That's awesome. So how did you get started being a dominatrix?
Okay. Well, I guess you can start it with when my husband and I opened our relationship 6 years ago. We started dating other people, and I noticed a kind of a trend with the vanilla men that I was meeting. Vanilla meaning non-kinky for your listeners. Right. I hear that I'm intense or I'm aggressive. And it was never expressed with a negative tone, but there was definitely, something behind those comments that felt like it wasn't usual. And I'm not aggressive; I'm just direct. But that kind of freaks some people out. So, at the same time, I wasn't really satisfied with my experiences either. Like dating apps, you meet guys who, like come at me super disrespectful. Mm-hmm. They want to objectify my features or, say any damn thing to me, like questioning the health of my marriage, talking about how, they never share me and that kind of stuff. And, it's just disrespectful.
Right.
It's hard out there. But I was complaining about it to one of my friends, and they were like, girl, you're dominant. You need a submissive man. And I'm like, come again? So I ended up joining FetLife, which is a social networking site for kinky people.
Okay.
And it was kind of a game changer for me. I entered the community, and the culture is, I find it to be so much healthier than the vanilla culture for dating. There's a and this is not to say that there aren't pockets of people not exactly doing it the most healthy way, but there is a generalized culture of consent. You don't touch people without asking. You don't. It's polite. It's considered incredibly polite to ask someone if you can give them a compliment, because that's essentially objectifying someone.
Right.
You are very clear about what it is that you want from a situation, from a person. There's no dancing around things. It's really interesting because well, you would think that it's, kind of a buzzkill or kind of takes the mood out of a situation to ask permission to even do something like kiss someone. But it can be so incredibly hot. If you are sitting across or sitting next to someone and you've been vibing with each other all night and you just look them in the eye and you say, "Can I kiss you?" I don't know. I love it. So now I only date submissive men. um, but the business portion of that is that I decided to make a career out of this. I worked in advertising for 15 years, but I always wanted to write about sex. I was a copywriter. People were always coming to me asking me about sex, different relationship stuff, things in the bedroom, because they knew that I always had answers. And I thought, how can I turn this into, essentially I thought I was going to turn it into a side hustle. And then 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to become a birth doula. So I went through training to do that. And last year, I just decided to take the plunge. So I left my career and I launched my business as Goddess Erica. And I used my experience in the kink community and my experience with, all things sexual, all things tantra, from my personal relationships and from things that I had read and people that I come in contact with. And, I launched myself as a sex positive coach.
Awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is really
Yeah, like congratulations on stepping out
Thank you.
on faith and just doing what you
Being true to
being a
yourself.
strong woman. Yes, being true to yourself. That's so awesome.
yes,
Thank you.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So, Ebony, you gonna ask the next question?
I'm this conversation is so much better than what I anticipated it being. So thank you for just educating us, because
Oh,
it's my brain is churning. Like, how can I get this man to submit to me like all the time? And I can barely do it. So yeah.
I got a coaching program for that. So,
Yeah.
hit me up later.
So
Okay,
how many
so how
slaves
was
do you have? Sorry, Ebony.
Okay. Oh, so slaves. I do not use the term slave. I'm really, as a writer, I'm really big about
Okay.
language, but also in the kink community, it's really important, like what words you use, because it can communicate where you
Okay.
stand on certain things. Um, so slave for me is a term that comes with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cultural baggage.
Mm.
So I just choose not to use it. Some people do. There are black masters who have slaves, and there are black slaves, and to each their own. I don't yuck anybody's yum. Um, you know, everybody is free to do them. But when it comes to me, I choose to call my submissives servants or worshipers or followers or devotees.
Mm.
Usually I call people my servants or my
Gotcha.
subs.
Okay.
But I have to answer the question of how many I have.
It's
Sorry, I might
okay.
have gotten
No,
off on
that's
a
fine.
on a tangent
No,
there.
yeah, we
I do sometimes. I have 5 that I play with on a regular basis. There are some other people who I've got a rapport with that if I see them at a kink party or an event, I might do some pickup play with. But of the 5, I have my gimp, and he's whatever I want him to be. He's my domestic servant, my chauffeur, my whipping boy, my sex toy, you name it. He does everything. My gimp is pretty fantastic. I mean, that's kind of what gimping is. You just they just do what you expect them to do. But yeah, he's living up to it.
Wow.
I've got an ugly boy, and he's my trample servant. Sometimes I call him my carpet or rug. I've got little Nick, and he's my massage servant. Beast is my sex toy, and Tammy is a good friend of mine who also submits to me. She came out as trans a couple years ago, and I'd helped her with kind of transitioning into her femininity.
Did you say Beast is your sex
He
toy?
sounds like it. With a name like that,
Yes,
he
he
need to
is.
be a sex toy.
Yes. I'm sorry,
he's a big hairy man, and he is a fantastic.
Oh my
sex
gosh!
toy.
So
I wanna know about
so he's the
Tammy.
one in the picture.
No, he is not actually. That is that is my other hairy person. That's my gimp.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
My gimp is also
Yes,
very
I was
hairy.
like, how does she do it? Because I
I
can't
like hairy
stand
men.
hair. How you do it?
I feel like my husband might have made me more inclined towards it, because when I was younger, I wanted the bare chest. I didn't want, shave that shit. And then I met my husband, and he has a hairy chest, but his chest hair is kind of soft, and it's fun to play with, and kind of got me hooked. And ever since then, like my head just kind of turns for hairy men.
Fair
So.
enough. Because when I
Fair
saw him in the
enough.
picture, I showed
Golly.
Ebony. We both was like, hell no.
Yes, and yes, and I was praying to God. I met my husband online, and the one thing I just knew, I was like, please, Lord, do not let me have a hairy back, please, 'cause I'm not gonna be able to do it. And he does not. So
Oh
thank
man,
you.
there's something about running your fingers through hair when you're gripping someone's back. I don't know, you got to try it.
Look, I am not knocking it
Look, we're not gonna yuck your yum.
at
There
all.
you
It is definitely acquired taste. It is definitely
Yes. Look,
acquired
Ebony, you
taste.
had a question and I interrupted you. Go ahead and ask your question.
You
Sorry.
did.
I know,
How
I'm
rude.
sorry.
Dang. Okay, so my question was, how would someone select you, or do you have a resume or reference? Like, how does that work?
So first of all, submissives don't select me. I select them. It is an honor to serve me.
Okay.
Um,
You better say that.
and and as far as a resume, there's not really a paper resume. My reputation is my resume.
Word of mouth.
In the community.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely word of mouth. In the kink community, because it's still considered such a fringe part of society, and people see the things that we do as potentially being dangerous. We are very big, very keen on kind of self-policing. And so if there's someone who's doing things that can put other people in danger, or that can, be considered as abusing people's, boundaries or consent, then that person usually gets very quickly expelled from the community. They're not someone that's going to get a glowing reference when you ask around about them. And that's something that people should do. If you are looking to play with someone, you should always, always, always make sure that you talk to someone that they've played with before, that you, if you're on FET, go through their photos or their friend list, and see if you can reach out to people and really find out what kind of character that they are. Another way to get a good handle on the character of a person is to see what kind of events they're going to. Go to the events, talk to the people who are there, talk to that person in person while there's other people around, just to get a better feel, because it's all about safety. And I think I went off on a tangent again, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, because when I took the class, that is one of the things they were talking about. They were talking about people, don't be afraid to go to places and ask around, because you'll be surprised at how many people know the person that you are about. Even the submissives as well. Exactly. Like sometimes the doms don't want to deal with a submissive because of certain things or certain aspects that they change in the middle of, one of the sessions. So, I mean, no, you didn't go on a tangent. And it's true, because I'm telling you, when I came back and told the ladies, like, we had a whole episode about it. I was like, guys, I'm in shock. So yeah, so
there's a lot to it. And yeah, you make a very good point about the submissives, particularly if you're talking about male submissives to female doms. because you can have men who will paint themselves as submissives as a way to get in with a woman and then try to flip the script. So it's always very, very important to make sure that a person is vetted, whether they're submissive
So
or not.
another question that we have is, when you do it, are you doing it for pay? Are you doing it for pleasure? Are you doing it for both of them?
I am what some people call a lifestyle dom, which means that I do not dom for pay. The reason that I don't is purely because of the emotional aspect that I put into the type of scenes that I do. But as a life coach, I do have a segment where I do dominance training, where I train women to be more dominant. And I will also train men to be submissive and how to submit to the feminine divine. And so through that, there can be some elements of play that can be added into the program as part of the training. But generally speaking, I do not, play
So
for
since you
money.
don't play for money, do you allow them to gift you if they want to?
Yes, gifts are always nice. I do not generally request anything and I know that some DOMs will have Amazon wish lists and gift lists that they can that people can make purchases for. For me, it's I would prefer a tip. Cold hard cash is great. You don't have to buy me things. So usually I allow people to tip me through Venmo.
Okay.
So as a dominatrix, do you yourself have your own consent, your own rules? Like I know that in the beginning you have to set different boundaries and things that the submissive can and cannot do. Are there things that you won't allow someone to do to you? Like, you can't touch me? Like, what are your rules? What are your...
Okay, so I heard a couple things in there. The first one is I want to clear up the difference between consent rules and what are generally referred to as protocols. Consent rules, there's only one consent rule, and that is clear and enthusiastic consent. You just don't cross hard limits, because that's how trust is eroded. Anything else is essentially abuse. So when it comes to consent, again, like I said, in the community, consent is a big kind of piece of the groundwork of being able to play safely. Consent is a clear yes, and there are situations where people will play in consensual non-consent.
I am.
Are you familiar with
I
that?
told you guys about it, but go ahead, tell them again.
Okay. Okay, consensual non-consent is essentially where you've negotiated with someone that you trust, hopefully, to ignore your no's. So sometimes that ends up playing out as a rape fantasy, but it can also play out in any number of things. It can be predicaments, pushing people's pain thresholds, making people feel uncomfortable or humiliation. But those are all things that, if it's looking like it's non-consensual, it's probably because it's been negotiated that there's a very specific safe word to stop the what looks like the abuse. Right. So that's what I want to clear up about consent. So back to protocols. Protocols are essentially the rules and the frameworks that you use during a scene or session. And for me, I like to set up a protocol for behavior, for dress code, for where and when they can stand or sit. But protocols in general are used to kind of set expectations. My protocols change based on the scene that is happening and who I'm playing with. So if I'm doing a worship scene with my gimp, then it's probably going to look a little bit different than a trample scene with my ugly boy. But generally speaking, my protocols tend to require silence. They are only allowed to say yes, goddess, or thank you, goddess. If I'm doing an impact scene for any hard strikes that I give someone, I'm going to kind of warn them with I'm going to say breathe, and they're going to feel the strike, or they're going to take a breath. They're going to feel the strike, and then they're going to say thank you, goddess. So they're going to thank me for the strike. I sometimes have protocols for where someone can sit. I have a standing protocol with all of my submissives that I am never to have to exert myself. You carry my bags, you open my doors. I don't drive when I'm with my subs. And when we're at dinner, for some of them, I'm going to order what you eat. Oh. It really just depends on the relationship or the dynamic that I have with a person. But those are some of the general protocols that
you are living Ebony's life. Like, Ebony wants to be a dominatrix so bad.
Oh my God.
Be over here taking notes.
You have no idea.
My
brain is like blown. My mind is blown. You have no idea.
So
advice
I'm
living vicariously through you right now.
Advice to someone like Ebony, who really is a very dominant person, who aspires to be a domination but has no clue how to get into it.
Okay. So the first thing that I would suggest is to have a conversation with the person that you would like to play this out with. Usually what it's called is a negotiation. And the negotiation is a conversation that you have with someone that is, that you're interested in playing with, and hopefully they're interested in at least, hearing things out and wanting to kind of participate too. I'm assuming that you'd be wanting to approach your husband.
Yeah, I would have to, because
Okay. that's the boundaries right there. That's and totally understood. But you could go to him, and honestly, if you want, I can send you a list of questions that you can ask him. But usually the questions go through what side of the slash is what it's called. So what part of the power dynamic do you feel most comfortable in? And it's often important to ask what side of the slash do you feel you are kind of tuning into right now, because it can fluctuate. And by side of the slash, I mean the D /S kind of a thing. D is the big letter. It's dominant, and S is the little letter, and it's for submissive. It can also kind of connotate whether or not you are feeling like a top or a bottom. So that's someone who's giving sensation versus receiving sensation. And so you kind of ask, do you feel topish or bottomish? Do you feel more dominant or more submissive? And then you kind of ask questions about, are there things that you've fantasized about that maybe you've been afraid of asking for? Is there something that you're curious about? Are there things that you absolutely never want to do? Are there things that kind of gross you out? And you provide those answers too. So you're hearing what they're saying. You're giving your portion of the answers, and you talk about what it looks like when something feels good, what it looks like when something doesn't feel good, and by what it looks like, I mean like what is your body language saying? Because you can be saying, "Ooh, baby, that feels good," but your face is saying
Mm-hmm.
something else, but maybe your face is saying something else, but it still feels good. I cry sometimes when I get really really into a scene, and it doesn't mean that I want to stop. It doesn't mean that I'm not liking it. Doesn't mean that I'm upset. Like, it's just an emotionally intense kind of situation. But you wouldn't know that if I didn't say that during a negotiation. So just so you know,
Okay.
I'm going to cry
Right.
sometimes. um, you know, um, but you ask a bunch of questions, and from there you kind of see which things are compatible. So maybe he doesn't want to be dominated, but he wouldn't mind being blindfolded every now and then. You know, um, maybe you don't want to be dominant all the time, and maybe you want to feel a little submissive. And some people like to play into dynamics like big and little. So there are people who identify as princesses, and they get taken care of, and they have you know cartoons that they like to watch, and stuffies that they like to snuggle with, and they're very cared for by their dominants. Um, those are things that can be teased out of a conversation that you probably wouldn't even know. And it's also just really great for um, having a conversation with your husband that kind of teases into parts of his mind that you probably hadn't even
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
thought
Please
existed.
email that
Give
list.
me a good eight
Yeah, please
months.
don't. Please email that
Yo,
list because we took a
I will
test.
absolutely.
I want to say it was back in maybe November. We took a test to kind of see
Yes.
what type of kink. Well, were we actually not the kink dominant?
Whether we were dominant or submissive.
Yeah, and I know Lisa was a
Hmm.
switch. Ebony was dominant. I was dominant, and I
Mm.
think and uh Julian was submissive.
Hmm.
All of us were
yeah, he
like
was.
voyeurs.
Okay.
All of us were voyeurs, like, but we took.
My thing, my said something about mommy
Yes,
and
yes,
daddy,
Voyeurism
like
is
being
fun.
like they call mommy and stuff.
yeah,
Hmm.
I remember that.
yeah. And I know
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
rigger. I was a rigger. I think
Yeah.
Ebony
Mommy
was a
doms.
rigger. Lisa was rigger. I think we all had like some rigger
Mm-hmm.
characteristics,
Hmm.
and yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean,
y'all want
but
to tie
it
some
was
people
really
Yes,
up.
fun because
all of
I
that.
didn't tell them the basis of it. I was just like, go on this website, be as honest as possible, and then just answer the questions and send me the results because they had no clue. Because I was like, if I tell them, they're gonna think about it.
Mm.
So, it was really fun. So we kind of figured out
Mm. Hmm.
kind of, what we really were. And it was so funny because the guy that was on our show, he was like, "Oh, I'm this, I'm alpha, I'm this," but everything that all of his answers were all submissive answers. Everything. We were like, "Oh no, buddy." And after
Yes.
that, we were like, "What's no?" Like,
Oh, he was fighting it.
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He
Yes.
was fighting it.
We were like, "You're not as dominant as you think you are."
He needs to come to the dark side. Being a submissive man is what I want to just I don't know, give a shout out to all the
Oh.
submissives out there listening in your audience. Um, Submissive people are
Yes.
so incredibly
Wow.
strong,
Yes.
um, and it's such a misnomer, um, because people think that as a submissive you must be weak of will, or just like being pushed around. But it takes so much self-confidence to allow someone else to make decisions for you. It takes self-confidence, but it also takes
Mm-hmm.
an unprecedented amount of trust in the person that you're giving that power to. So again, to submissives, they're my fullest of respect. As a dominant, I couldn't
Is
do
your
it.
husband
I don't like
submissive?
giving up control, which is why I'm a dom.
I
So
figured when you said you've
he
only
is
been
not.
submissive, I was like, her husband clearly probably isn't submissive at all.
And then I wanted to ask you too,
He's
is your
not. No,
husband younger or older than you?
Okay.
Okay.
he is 2
So you
years
still
older
kind
than
of
me.
fall in the same category. Is he African American
Hmm
or is he a different culture?
He
Okay.
is.
Awesome.
He
Okay.
is not. He
Okay.
is Polish.
And the reason why I ask that, and it's not to stereotype, but I just know that
Mhm.
sometimes African American men have a tendency to just fall into a certain mentality about certain things.
Mhm.
And I've dated outside of African American, so I get them seeing it from a different angle.
Mhm. But and I'm gonna get a little bit political, just a little tiny smidge political. It is a privilege to be able to relinquish power as a white man, because you
Right,
have ultimate power. You walk out
Yeah.
into the world
right,
and all the power is bestowed upon you. Um, but as a black man, you have so little power in this society that the thought of giving it over in a a playful situation or a kinky situation or a relationship kind
Yep.
of dynamic,
Yeah.
right,
it's a
Yeah. They
harder
have to
right.
pill
have
to
control
swallow.
of
It's
something.
a harder help to get over. But it's not to say that there aren't. Yeah, and that's not to say that there aren't submissive black men in the community. There are, but it definitely can sometimes come with
Right.
a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a hang up with kind of reconciling with who and what you are, because it's not a decision that you make. It's
Yeah.
really just
Right.
kind of how you're wired on the inside. I don't think that if people who switch are fantastic, but if you are leaning heavily to one side or the other, it's kind of hard
I
to
am dating someone who
Right.
is
go to the other
submissive,
side if
and
that's not you.
I am a alpha female supreme, and it is so hard to scale it back. Scale it back, because if I
Mm.
don't scale it back,
Hmm.
is he won't stand a chance, and it's really bad. So I do scale it back. They'll tell
Hmm.
you, they be like, calm it down, calm it down. But I do date someone but he knows that
But
he's
maybe you should
submissive,
have a
and
conversation
he's
with them
okay
about
with
it,
it.
because
Like,
it
he's
can be
okay with
something
it.
that you.
He doesn't see my dominance as anything that is like intimidating or anything. He knows that that's how I am,
It's
and
not
he's completely
overbearing to
okay with
him.
it. It's weird, but he's
Mm.
okay with it.
But if you're scaling back, then maybe you have a conversation with him, and see if you just bring that into the bedroom. All other parts of your relationship, kind of leave it alone and let it be where it is right now. But if you want to go full tilt and see where it goes, you might end up
Now, this
having
with the sex,
an
he lets
incredibly
me do
delicious
whatever.
experience.
Now you're speaking my
Yeah, he
love
lets me in
language.
the
Incredibly delicious
in
and
the
stuff.
sexual realm. He allows me to be completely dominant with everything, but I do have to scale it back. I have to scale it back in our
Mm.
setting, but in the bedroom, it is 100%. He just was like,
Mm.
it's whatever. I mean, okay, that's what we doing. All right, so
Hmm.
yeah, he ain't told me a safe
Make
word
sure you have
yet.
a safe word.
So
Ask him for one.
discussion.
Demand it of him.
You to send the list. When you send the
Order him to
list,
give you a safe
we're gonna have to
word.
go through the
Mm-hmm.
fair enough.
All
Yeah, and
right.
that show is just going to be about going through that
Yes.
list.
We're
The show
going
is
to
just
Goddess
going to be
Erica.
about going through the list.
All right.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you
I
for
love it.
sharing all of this with us, Goddess Erica. Like, this has been most enlightening. Like, you are freaking awesome. Amazing.
Yes,
Of
it
course.
has.
Ebony, say
Thank you.
Hey, come on. You got a question? You got a
Okay,
writer?
ladies, I have a question. I have a writer from an Ebonite. Okay, so this is the question. She says, "Hi, ladies. I am Amber, and I am a new listener. I think your show is hilarious. I have an embarrassing issue. I refuse to climax when I have sex with my partners because I pass gas when I orgasm. No, it's not a pussy fart. It's a full ass fart. It's so embarrassing, and as a result, guys think I'm never satisfied. Well, I'm about to enter into a new relationship, and I want to come. How do I get over this embarrassment and tell him? I want a serious answer from the two other ladies, and then an Ebony answer. Thanks, ladies. Show.
Goddess Erica, you
Yeah,
first
we're gonna
because
let
you're our
you.
guest.
We're
Yes.
gonna let you answer.
So, all right. So my answer is going to probably be, I don't know. I'm not even gonna caveat it. Have a conversation. Communication is
Absolutely.
completely lost on us in the dating world. It's something that when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and say what you want or need or what you are or what you're about, it
Right.
will set you free. So, if she's about to enter into this relationship with somebody and, before they get into the bed, I advise everybody to have a conversation, to have a negotiation, whether it's about kink or it's just about how you like to do it in bed. Have a conversation about what feels good, what doesn't feel good, where do you like to be touched? Do you have any traumas? Do you have any hangups? Are there things that are kind of like might be considered weird, but like here's where I want to throw in that like I want to have an orgasm and I think that you can get me there, but I want to warn you that I'm probably going to fart
Right.
and make fun of it. Don't say it
Right.
as like it's apologetic. It's not. You're not apologizing. You're just stating the facts and have fun with it. Laugh with it. There's a TV show and I'm going to forget the name of it, but there's a character and he calls a
That's
fart
cute.
during sex
That's
a
cute.
martini. Hey, however you gotta get over that, write it
Right.
off as a queef, like whatever you gotta do. But talk about it. And because like we're all adults, and what's he gonna do? Like laugh and point? If he really wants to get it in with you, he's gonna
Exactly.
he's gonna rough it through a fart, to get you where you
Yeah,
need to be. So don't be
I
embarrassed
feel
and
Absolutely.
like,
just communicate.
the when you're having intercourse with someone and with a guy and a girl preferably, it could be the other way around, but definitely a guy and a girl. Because of the way that the penis engages the in proximity to the rectum it just is a area that they encounter each other. So it's not that he has went anal on her. It's just be from the inside. It just creates air. She orgasms, so all the muscles in her body relaxes so well that it just releases. So she takes all your muscles into like full effect. Like she has released everything, and including that orgasm, and that's what comes out. So yeah, I agree.
He takes
Communicate,
that fart
Right.
as a
but
compliment.
shit, let it go, girl.
Wonk, wonk,
Let
wonk.
it
Lisa.
let it go. Get your orgasm.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna piggyback on what Goddess Erica and Shari stated, and that is number one. I feel like communication is extremely important inside the bed and outside the bed, but especially if you're going to be one with each other. And she indicated that it's a new relationship, it's going to be a serious relationship, so be open, be honest. And then the other thing that I just wanted to share was I felt like the farts, is a release of air. And even though she may be embarrassed by it, her communicating that to her partner it opens up the pathway for them both to not concentrate and really think about it either. And it's just pressure. That's all it is. And it's just being released through her bottom opposed to her vagina.
Yep. I'll be like, bitch, come up here and let me fuck the fart out of you.
I like that, Sharon.
All right, Ebony. Give your Ebony answer.
Ooh, honey child, this threw me for a loop. I do not it's just nasty, girl. Stop farting. Just throw the whole ass in the trash. I can't take it. It's too much. Flatulence Felicia, airy asshole Amber, Pooty Patricia, break your wind Becky, gassy Gail, tooting Tamara, dead badger Deidre. I don't know what to tell you. I want you to be satisfied. I want you to come, but child, you might just need to play with your toy and get it all out beforehand, and then let him do what he gonna do, and hold that shit in, girl. Bitch, he's in danger, girl. Don't do it. Don't do it to him, please.
You can't hold.
Keep your gas in your ass.
Farts, period. So when I seen this question, I was like, Ebony hates people farting, period. So I knew your answer was gonna be one of a
your
kind.
Gas in your ass. Keep your gas in your ass, please. I can't take it. I can't take it. Amber, thank you for listening to the show. But child, you need to do something with that hoe. We can't do it. We can't do it. It's too much.
I mean, if it's really a real issue, she's really it's messing with her subconscious. Like, she can take some gas sex or something prior to.
Beano gas?
Yeah, she
Beano
can take
gas or something
prior to having sex, to help, ease that.
Plug that thing up. Put a butt plug in there. Hold it in, girl. Don't let that out.
She could also consider making changes to her diet, because if you have a lot of excess flatulence, then it's probably because you're consuming something that's not digesting.
Thank you, Goddess Erica.
Properly. So getting a probiotic, having some yogurt,
right?
Drink plenty of water. Make sure that you're having regular bowel movements. Get that fiber. And she may end up just completely eliminating the
stop
gas
eating those cheeseburgers before having sex. Get your life together.
Yes,
they have
no
White
Castles.
No.
Do they have White Castles in the South? No White
Castles.
Castles.
Crystals. Yeah. Yeah, get your life together. Change your diet. That's what I'm gonna say. Because I feel
Number, please talk to your partner. Be honest.
Warn him.
Be real about what's going on. And just relax. If he genuinely cares about you, if he genuinely cares, it's not going to be an issue.
He just
because there are people who have a fetish about farts.
But I don't think this man have a fetish about farts. She just need. The problem is she's
we don't really know that. She's just telling us she's
sure
in bed.
This man don't have a fart fetish, but after he gets finished, if they're making this a relationship, he's gonna have one because he's gonna be like, let me see how many times I can make this bitch fart in one night.
Ooh, that room's gonna be funky. I can't take it.
They stink. It could just really be pressure air. Pressure air doesn't have a
It's
smell.
a fart. Stop it.
Right.
Stop
it doesn't.
Okay. She just told y'all it was not a pussy fart. That's air. It was not that. She just said it's a whole ass, full on effect, ass symphony fart. It is not just something. It's not a tube like, ooh, I'm sorry, I did that. It was me. No, it was a full. And your grandma's in the kitchen cooking, and you hear something sound like a duck, and she's like, "Nah, that was me, y'all." So no,
not a
girl, no. Yeah, no, ma'am, that is unacceptable, Amber. Unacceptable. I cannot.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. If it was me and I farted on somebody while I was orgasming, I would look back and be
You
like,
brought all
"Thank
that
you."
shit out, sir. Thank you.
Come through, Goddess
Thank
Erica.
you. You brought that out. If somebody farted
Good
while
job.
Ebony was fucking
Good
them,
job.
that
I've
would
been
be the
sitting on
last
that all
day
day.
that she
Thank
ever
you.
fucked him.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me tell y'all just a quick story. I was into this person, the last person I was with before I got married. He was drinking this muscle milk. Of course, I didn't know this because he was a thin guy. And so he just let this massive, it was a symphony. It was just a symphony of farts out of, he thought I was asleep. I have never gotten up so fast and got my clothes and got my shit together and was like this. He was like, "You going home?" I said, "This will be the last time you ever see me." And then I told everybody, all his friends, my friends. So in my phone, he was the farter. He's still the farter in my phone. If you listen to this podcast, you know who you are, the farter. I'm still mad at you about that. I'm still mad with your farty ass, and I hope you let that muscle milk go. That was disrespectful. Damn respectful. No, sir.
Yes.
Do you have a fun fact for us this evening?
Just nasty.
It's going to be all right, Ebony. Yes, I do. Fun fact for this evening is masturbation can help you fall asleep because after orgasm, your body releases calming hormones that ease you into a deep sleep.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so for our followers who love to masturbate,
put yourself to
continue
sleep,
to get it on with yourself.
Goddess Erica,
I'm going to put you to bed.
Can you please tell everyone how to follow you?
Yes. Absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram at goddess_Erica. That's ERICA. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/the Goddess Erica. That's THE Goddess Erica. And you can find me on Twitter
Thank you so much for being
Goddess
a part
Erica,
of this
all
episode.
one word.
Thank you for enlightening
Absolutely.
us, teaching us some new shit that we're gonna go out into the world and use.
It has been a pleasure.
You all are delightful.
Really use
Well, I'm about to use.
Yes, we're gonna use that shit.
I will be sending you a list of questions.
I'm on vacation. I am on vacation this
All
week,
right.
and so is my husband. And he's about to be submitting all week. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And we do want you to come back, Goddess Erica. We want to do another session with you.
Awesome. I would love for you to do. Do you do
You're amazing.
Thank you.
On air?
Thank you. I do not, but I do have workshops on Tantra and goddess worship, and also on orgasmic birth training as well. And those will be orgasmic birth.
I need to borrow.
Yes.
So I can do this training.
Ooh, goodness gracious. This has been one of the best conversations I think we've had.
We don't want you to give all your secrets away because you got to still make your coins.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we didn't get to all the questions.
You still got to make your coins, but the next time we have you, we want you to give us a little, a lot of people don't know about Tantra. So I would like, the next time we come, we'll have you do some Tantra to teach people that they don't have to come. They don't have to come at the end of the rainbow.
Oh no, they don't. And actually, I would like to plug for orgasm denial also. Orgasm denial, it's a tantric practice, but it's also a practice in BDSM where a dominant can order a submissive that they are not allowed to come until they say so. I have my GIMP in orgasm training, so he's not allowed to come unless I tell him to. And I think the last time he came was probably
and how often do you see him?
You better
in December. So yeah. It depends. Sometimes I like if we're scening and we're specifically trying to get it on, then it can be every couple weeks. Sometimes it's not for a month or a month and a half. He lives a little bit of a distance away from me, so it's a little bit of traveling involved on his part, not mine because I don't do work. But in between, he's not allowed to masturbate to orgasm either. So he doesn't come at all until I tell him to. His orgasms belong to me.
You're my new hero.
So I'd be happy to talk about that.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yes, I can't wait. We're gonna put something together.
And I'd love to come back.
Good
oh
and
yes.
special together, Goddess Erica. We're gonna let you orchestrate it and everything. We're gonna let you put something together that's gonna be like phenomenal for the listeners. We're gonna be
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Awesome.
Yes.
for an episode.
Yes,
and thank you, Goddess Erica.
We're gonna figure it out.
You're gonna be my submissive. All right. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Take us to the house, girl. Take us to the house.
All right. I look
You're
forward
welcome.
to it. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, y'all. Y'all know that y'all can follow us on IG at naturallyunbothered.com, on Twitter and Facebook. You can email us at naturallyunbothered2, that's the number 2 at gmail.com. That's naturallyunbothered, the number 2 at gmail.com. Leave us a message. We welcome the feedback. Listen on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Podcast, Spreaker, Radio Public, and Overcast. Make sure you subscribe, rate, leave a review. We welcome everything that you guys do. We appreciate your calls. We appreciate everything that you guys do. Please, Ebonites, reach out to me. I have so much advice to give. Don't forget to tell your whole ass friends to tell their whole ass friends to tune in to Naturally Unbothered.
Thank you. And thank everybody for sending us the 1 year anniversary episode. Little snippets. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. The podcast
thank y'all
is
so much.
And we thank everybody.
We love you.
Oh yeah, thank y'all for everybody who won merch.
Thank you for
who won the merch.
People, the handful of people who participated in getting free stuff. Like, we was like, people don't want free stuff. Y'all suck.
It's free.
We have over 2,200 listeners and 5 people. We were like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all special. Y'all that you don't want free stuff.
Yeah.
It was all men.
And they were all penises too that got merch. So I told Shari that since if penis was going to be our following, then we're going to give you great pussy.
So here's the great pussy.
Yes.
Until next time, enjoy this great pussy.
Cheers.
We're here.
Toodles.
Bye.
Ladies, I have something intimate to share with you. I've been experiencing small leakage every time I sneeze, cough, and exercise.
You're worried about leakage? I definitely have an even more intimate problem. I suffer from a pelvic prolapse.
What is a pelvic prolapse?
Basically, the pelvic muscles in my vagina don't really hold my uterus up anymore, and it kind of comes out. I actually have to put it back in before I have sex.
So your vagina's falling out?
It's falling out.
Well, ladies, guess what? Nearly 1 in 4 women is affected by pelvic floor disorders and bladder weakness. The pelvic floor is a set of muscles. They resemble a small hammock inside your vagina, in particular to support the bladder.
That's a lot of women.
Well, the designers and doctors of PeriFit have designed a Kegel exercise that has been FDA approved, and it is CE certified medical device.
Awesome.
It's called PeriFit. It's the #1 Kegel exerciser, allowing you to stay motivated with PeriFit a Kegel training device connected to your smartphone with video games.
Games, really?
That's what I'm talking about. And thanks to the internal sensors that track the contractions of your pelvic floor muscles, you can see your progress. It's literally a 5-minute exercise. Every day, at home, or any other discreet place.
You can do it anywhere?
Anywhere.
Wow.
Bring it on.
That's what I'm talking about. And you get visible results in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It really works.
5 minutes equals 2 weeks. And I can get my vagina back to where it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
No more leakage. My way.
PeriFit has been rated 4.7 stars out of 5 by its clients. So ladies, if you're tired of the same boring pelvic floor training and you want to have fun, I'm talking about some real fun, while you tighten your intimate parts, go order it right now at perifit.com. That's PERIFIT.com. And guess what? You'll receive a 100-day trial when you use the exclusive promotional code XXX!
That's XXX exclamation?
You got it.
Did you say triple X exclamation?
Triple X exclamation.
PeriFit, fewer leaks in weeks. Strengthen your pelvic floor with games.
Naturally Unbothered.